crowd after that. Bruce?
Residents, he has not left there yet. Apparently he is a moment or two behind schedule, but not very much behind schedule, but he should be leaving very shortly. In fact, we will cut there as soon as something happens, Martha. A lot of folks along the parade route, it looks like right now along Joseph Campo there. They are probably about, what, 5, 6, 7 deep?
Oh, yes, it's very, very crowded. I'd say they're about 4 or 5 deep here waiting for the Pope. This, is, of course, is a very blessed time for them. Most of the people here in Hamtramck, of course, are of Polish descent. And right now, why don't we go down to Verge, where the anticipation must be growing. Verge?
Thanks, Martha. Yes, it is growing over here. A smaller crowd, though, than what you're seeing along the parade route right now. I would say probably about 10,000 people gathered at this vacant lot, which is going to be the site of a Farmer Jack shopping store eventually. But today it will serve as tribute to Pope John Paul. He will speak on the pavilion behind me, the 40-foot pavilion. Right now we're in the midst of what's known as the pre-event, simply opening ceremonies leading up to the Pope's arrival. These opening ceremonies right now, the crowd has been somewhat solemn, paying attention. It's not a festive crowd. They have been joining in hymns by the Papal Polish Choir and songs by the Hamtramck Concert Band. This is a very special day for some lifelong Hamtramck residents. Steve and Dolores Karras have spent the past few months getting ready for this big occasion. The final preparations began last night, and our Ken Montoya was with the Karras family.
On the eve of Pope John Paul II's visit to Hamtramck, Dolores Karras is doing what she often does, volunteering her time. Tonight, she and other members of the St. Florian Parish are providing food for police, FBI, and Secret Service agents assigned to protect the Pope. Karras' husband describes the visit of a Polish Pope to a Polish community as an electrifying feeling. Among the Karras family, this Pope is extra special.
I tried to think of an adjective. I think he just takes over all of it. I mean, he's got it. He's got, what's the proper word?
Well, charisma comes to mind.
Charisma, right. He's got it.
So this in the morning, and the anticipation that the Karras household is building. This will be a major day in their lives. The Karras family has gathered for an early morning breakfast. There is an excitement you can feel here. It's a short walk to the site of the Pope's appearance, and like the rest of Hamtramck residents, both temporary and permanent, the Karras family is waiting to see their Pope. Ken Montoya, Channel 2 Eyewitness News.
And to see what's happening, the Pope should be getting ready to be leaving shortly. I think the Popemobile is in the driveway there, the Archbishop's residence. You can see past the gates some of the limousines waiting for the Pope to come out. The Popemobile, I believe, is right underneath the canopy, and he should be departing. Sure, there's the Popemobile. There's a good shot of the Popemobile. Father Jimba, this is one of, what, a couple of Popemobiles, I guess 2 Popemobiles that are here in the Detroit area today.
Yes, they have 3 Popemobiles at the Vatican, and they fly them into the various locations or drive them in, or in the case of Poland in June, they put it on a railroad car and shipped them to Poland. Poland had 3 of them because the distances were great and quickly moving from one place to another. Here, they just move one ahead to the next place.
The Pope did not always have to travel in a restricted environment like this.
No, the original Popemobile was kind of invented in Mexico, and it was just the back of a truck. And then they fancied it up a little bit with a railing around, and then after the assassination attempt, they added the security of the plexiglass and bulletproof arrangement so that he is completely safe.
That would have been about 1981 when they had to switch over to the protected Popemobiles.
And
there he comes. Pope John Paul II's first walk out this morning for the public view.
We trust he rested soundly this morning. He has a full day ahead of him.
He is with the Archbishop, is he?
Yes, he is. And he does sleep very well, and he gets to sleep quickly. Probably in the Popemobile, we'll see the Holy Father, the Archbishop, and his faithful secretary, Father Stanley, who will be seated. There's Father Stanley.
Father Stanley, okay. The Archbishop beside him. That is traditional, I assume, for the local host?
Yes, protocol.
That is an incredible view, and we will be seeing an awful lot of that today as this Pope makes his way through Metro Detroit. We have seen it in other cities, and it's certainly nice to see it here in Metro Detroit.
I'm guessing, Bruce and Kathy, but I think the Archbishop was speaking Polish to him because he was adding many gestures to his words. And probably they're using that language to communicate, although they will switch to English anytime it's more convenient for them.
Well, the Pope is making his way out of the Archbishop's residence. He will head over toward Davison to begin the 1.7-mile parade route, culminating in Hamtramck for his speech this morning.
A parade route that is lined already with thousands of people, and of course the Polish colors drape the parade route, red and white, welcoming Pope John Paul II.
Might just add that the colors of Poland are red and white, red for love and white for faith.
It is again incredible, historic to consider that this Pope, who has traveled so many places around the world, is now making his stop here in our backyard. An incredible security force behind him.
The Secret Service, members of the Swiss Guard, as well as some local authorities, making sure that the pontiff is safe and well while he is visiting our city.
And the Pope will make his way toward the parade route. We're going to take a short break here. Let the Pope get over in position for the parade to begin, and we will come back for continued coverage of Papal Visit 2 here on Channel 2 in just a few moments. Stay with us. Coverage was scheduled to leave the Archbishop's residence at 8 o'clock this morning. He left about 2 or 3 minutes ago, so he has only been about 10 minutes behind schedule. Not too bad a start for the second day.
Not at all, and at this very moment, the crowds are already assembling in Hamtramck, and we're going to go live now to Verge Jacks, who is standing in the shadow of the stage there. Verge?
Thanks, Kathy. Yes, the pre-event or the opening ceremonies are still underway here as we anxiously await the Pope's arrival. The Pope is traveling in style during his stay in Detroit, and it's not just style for the sake of style. It's a case of security being foremost. The wounding of Pope John Paul during an assassination attempt in May of 1981 changed security procedures for the pontiff forever. Never again would the Pope be as close to his followers, and never again would he ride in an open-air car. Concerns about the Pope's safety led to the birth of a special-purpose transport vehicle known as the Popemobile. It's extraordinary, complete with 3 telephone lines, including a hotline to the Vatican.
It has, of course, the almost 360-degree projection of the figure inside. I think there are television cameras inside that allow for you know, his seeing him while he's inside as well as the crowd seeing him outside. It's really something that was custom made for the Vatican.
The Pope used the Popemobile while visiting his native Poland last June. The vehicle is encased in bulletproof glass surrounding an area 4 feet wide and 8 feet high. The bulletproof glass is actually a combination of glass and plastic called LexGuard. A Southfield firm will supply the LexGuard to be used while the Popemobile is here in Detroit. The bulletproof glass will be about 1.25 inches thick and will cost $100 a square foot. It weighs about 15 pounds a square foot.
It has been used extensively as a deterrent, primarily in embassies around the world, U.S. embassies, I should say, and also in various other applications in this country. And it's considered, as I say, by Underwriters Laboratories, which rates these types of things, considered to be the best.
It may be considered the best, but will it protect the pontiff when the Popemobile brings him here to Hart Plaza and to other stops during his Detroit visit? Well, the Southfield Police Department tested the material and found it was so good that bullets bounced off it and almost hurt officers who were doing the test firing. Besides the Pope, many other traveling dignitaries and heads of state use bulletproof LexGuard around the world. It is also used in the making of the shield, which stands in front of speakers at the United Nations. While the LexGuard will come from Southfield, the Popemobile itself is being flown in from the Vatican. Actually, 2 Popemobiles are being flown in for the Pope's visit to the U.S.
Mercedes-Benz built both for the Vatican, and basically it's this secure package built on top of a Mercedes-Benz chassis.
The 2 Popemobiles have been leapfrogging from city to city while the Pope has been here in the U.S. In other words, while the pontiff has been in one city using one Popemobile, the other vehicle has already been in the next city awaiting the Pope's arrival. Detroit is the last stop on the U.S. trip. When the Pope leaves here, he will go to Canada, where he will travel in a different Popemobile, built entirely with Canadian products. And right now, the Pope is in that Popemobile on his way here to the Papal Pavilion.
The Popemobile right now making its beginning of the route, the parade route.
Pope John Paul blessing the crowd. Of course, they are elated to see him.
The Holy Father and his gestures are so meaningful, but yet they are so well done. You'll notice that his sign of the cross is not a great big one. He goes maybe 5-6 inches and saves a lot of energy that way.
Father Jimbo, we are hearing some Polish now. Can you determine what is being said?
Litany of the Polish nation.
Part of the pre-event?
Yes, it's part of the pre-event. Sister Anna of the Vestiarki is reciting the litany, and it's a very unusual kind of compilation of all of the Polish saints and blessed, as well as all of those interesting and important personages in Polish history that had something to do with the life of the church.
An incredible length to that parade if you look behind and see the number of security and motorcycles just traveling with the Pope. And we understand that the speech the pontiff will be delivering once he arrives at the site will be entirely in Polish. And we are happy to say that Father Jimba is going to help translate that for us. Actually, he will translate it. He will not help because Bruce doesn't speak Polish.
We'll give you a quick lesson, Mr. Kathy.
There's a good shot of the Popemobile. Martha Sharon, check back in for us. What can you see?
Well, the Pope, of course, is coming closer and closer. The lights are flashing, and so that's a good indication that he is right alongside. He's coming down Joseph Campo now. This motorcade was supposed to take about...
He will get out of the Popemobile at a site right on the corner and take a brief rest and then prepare to be driven down to the speech site itself, which is just a half a block away.
Bruce Verge should spot him by now. He's probably getting very close to that pavilion.
Good idea. Martha Verge, Jax, can you hear us?
It's just driving by me, and the crowd is waving. They're applauding. A lot of balloons, gold and white balloons in the papal colors with the words, "We love the Pope," printed on them. They're also on display today. Pope John Paul, as you said, is going to take a brief rest before going onto the pavilion. He's supposed to meet briefly with some representatives of the Polish community. Then he will greet the crowd and walk onto the pavilion. He is out of my vantage point. You probably have a better look at him right now.
Yeah, we do. Thank you, Verge. We've got a very good view here. The Pope is still in the Popemobile. The guards getting ready to open up the door. And Father, apparently he will be meeting with some Polish dignitaries here from Hamtramck, we're led to believe.
That's what Verge mentioned. There are some here. There's Mr. Aloysius Mazewski, who's the national president of the Polish-American Congress and the Polish National Alliance, and Mr. Joseph Jikla, who is the president of the Polish Roman Catholic Union out of Chicago.
So this is a chance for him to have a welcome from these Polish brothers.
It's very possible.
This tent, by the way, is in the shadow of one of the sanctuaries, one of the many sanctuaries in Hamtramck, Father. St. Florian, I believe?
Yes, St. Florian's Parish is one of the 3 Polish-American parishes. Immaculate Conception is the 4th one, and that's a Ukrainian parish in Hamtramck. He is now receiving the bread and the salt, and that is the traditional Polish welcome. Bread representing food from God, and salt representing the sources of nature. It is Walter and Wanda Kiernicki who are presenting the bread and salt to the Holy Father, and the bread was baked by women who presented bread to then Cardinal Wojtyła when he visited Hamtramck in 1969. These are the honor guard of the Knights of Columbus, probably from the Cardinal Mercier Council, which is in Hamtramck.
Our Polish Pope Wojtyła approaches our site. Let the trumpets sound.
I hear in the background a welcome. Let the trumpets sound.
That's at the speech site where the Pope will be going in just a few moments.
this visit to Hamtramck, in contrast to San Francisco, just has to be great for the Pope.
It's of a different nature with a different purpose.
What's the banner we see there,
That's
Father?
backwards. Holy Father, we watch with you. We are vigilant with you. Czuwamy.
It is kind of interesting there, given the size of that facility, that there would not have been more people there this morning. The weather might have kept a few people away.
I think so. This is still the Knights of Columbus Honor Guard, 4th degree. Our databank calls attention to his prolific writing. The man has an uncanny ability just to pour words and thoughts in beautiful literary style. He majored in Polish literature at the University of Krakow.
You can speak 10 languages, is that correct?
Fluently, yes. And they add Latin, which would be a natural for him as the 11th one. But he was a linguist even as a student. In his own personal diary, he lists German, French, and Spanish as languages that he had studied as a student. And in fact, I was reading his calendarium, which is an account of his life.
I just lost
mostly
IFB.
Personal, where he listed English, but he put down very weak. That is Bishop Melchek with the Archbishop and the Pope.
Who was really overseeing this entire project?
Yes, he is the director. He has worked very, very hard, but he described Monsignor Tucci as unflappable, but Bishop Melchek is also unflappable.
Literally rolling out the carpet as the Pope arrives.
You can't do it more immediately than that.
They want to keep it dry. He's stopping to shake a few hands and touch a few folks from Hamtramck.
The choir is under the direction of Mr. Budweil, who is the organist and choir director at Our Lady Queen of Apostles Parish in Hamtramck.
Greeting many of the native people in Poland, descendants of Poles.
And there are many recent immigrants in Hamtramck. Each of the 3 Polish parishes still have masses in Polish for the recently arrived. That's Monsignor Peszkowski of Orchard Lake.
One of your colleagues.
One of my colleagues with whom I traveled in Poland many times and visited with the then Cardinal Wojtyła.
All the joy on the faces of the crowd.
This is Father Michael Dilag, also of the Orchard Lake Schools, coming up. And that's Mr. Ron Kowalski of the Kowalski Sausage in Hamtramck.
Which man is that?
Just behind the priest.
Okay.
That's Father Michael Dilag with the beard. He's saying hello to him now. There, he just kissed his ring. Father Dilag has a collection of over 900 caricatures of the Holy Father.
Where might
Father
we see
Coper, the rector, is right there.
Where might we see those?
They are at the art gallery on the campus of the Orchard Lake Schools, and that exhibit continues till the end of the month. 200 of them are originals, and some of them very, very interesting.
An outpouring of love for children again.
There
We've seen
certainly
so
is.
often.
Sister Irene Doman is in the background from the staff at Orchard Lake.
Pope John Paul looks very happy this morning.
At Orchard Lake.
Pope John Paul looks very happy this morning, Father.
Well, he's relaxed, and he's, shall we say, with his family in a very special way. He's always with his family when he is with church people, because that is the family of God and the family of the church. But here we have the family of God and the church and of his own ethnic background. And you can see that. The song in the background is called the Rota, and it is a song written by Maria Konopnicka, a poetess of the 19th century of Poland, which vows that the Polish language will never die. This is during the partitions of Poland by Russia, Prussia, and Austria, when Poland was not on the map.
Beautiful shot of the Pope's ring that so many people wish to kiss.
And that ring is a gift from Paul VI to every bishop who participated in Vatican II. And he has continued to wear that ring from the day that he received it, something about 1964.
Pope took an active role back then in Vatican II, did he not?
A very active role. I think he made his name with the other bishop theologians in writing some of the Vatican documents. And that's when he and Cardinal Dearden became very close friends, because they were on the commissions together. They were drafting those documents. And as two good theologians, the Cardinal is an excellent theologian, they certainly communicated well on the subjects that came up. There's Mr. Paulo Drabina in the center, who is the Michigan president of the Polish-American Congress. Mr. El Mazeski, the gray-haired gentleman there with the glasses, from Chicago. He's the president of the Polish-American Congress.
Came from Chicago for this.
Many Catholics have come from the Midwest to Detroit just to partake of this special event.
We are aware of large groups that came from Toledo, from Cleveland, from Buffalo, from Pittsburgh.
Chicago.
Mr. Joseph Dikla was just in the background. He's the president of the Polish Roman Catholic Union from Chicago.
Father, when you have been with the Pope, we get a terrific shot close-up of him speaking. What kinds of things might he be saying?
Very personal things. He'll probably remember many people. His memory is fantastic. And he might just ask them something about why you're here and what are you doing and how is your life going. There's Father Molesky, the Chancellor of the Orchard Lake Schools, and holding his hand, holding a little conversation there.
Making its way toward the speech site where the Pope is making his way as well. I think this is a bit of an...
And he really doesn't care.
Yeah, he was... technically, if you want to be technical about it, by schedule, was supposed to have been introduced by the Archbishop about 10 minutes ago. But he is certainly going to take every moment he can in this Polish community to spend with brothers and sisters that mean so much to him.
This is the Pope of the...
The best, the truest, the most loving. He is easy to love and figuratively to embrace.
Spreading the gospel, spreading the good news is something everyone can relate to, though.
Very easily, and he is a man of good news. That's very interesting, Kathy. A good point you make, because he emphasizes the positive. And he
does begin to mount the stand there. You will see a large reproductive painting of Our Lady of Czestochowa.
Yes, this is the Queen of Poland. It is an icon that was brought to Poland in the 14th century to the monastery at Czestochowa. That is the headquarters of the Pauline Fathers in Poland. And it is a picture to which are attributed many, many miracles. And he himself has gone back there on every visit and has presented gifts to Mary during these visits.
And he has just arrived on the stage. To his right, the 200-voice choir, and he is on the left-hand side of the stage, kind of lost behind some of the security people, where there was also an orchestra toward the top. And the crowd will now get their first real view of this Pope.
Niech będzie pochwalony Jezus Chrystus.
Praise be Jesus Christ. Because there will be prayers offered, he has accepted the red stole, the sign of authority.
Who is the person that assists him with that, Father?
That is
the same person.
Yes, that's the Master of Ceremonies.
Umiłowani Ojcze Święty,
Beloved Holy Father,
w imieniu ludu pochodzenia polskiego,
of Americans of Polish background,
mieszkającego w metropolii Detroit,
living in the metropolitan area of Detroit,
witam Waszą świątobliwość
I welcome your holiness
na tym spotkaniu specjalnie z organizowaniem
Special meeting,
dla tutejszej Polonii.
especially organized for the local Polonia.
Jest rzeczą najbardziej właściwą,
It is most proper
że gromadzimy się w Hamtramck.
that we gather here in the city of Hamtramck.
Wprawdzie miasto to
Certainly this city
obecnie jest zamieszkałe nie tylko przez Polaków,
has
lecz także
inhabitants not only of Polish
przez
background,
Ukraińców,
but also by Ukrainians,
Albańczyków,
Albanians,
Jugosławian,
Yugoslavs,
Afrykanów
blacks,
i przez inne etniczne grupy.
and other ethnic groups.
To jednak ciągle jest tu polska atmosfera,
The Polish atmosphere
I
still
kultura.
continually dominates.
mimo że wielu Polaków nie żyje obecnie w Hamtramck,
In spite of the fact that many Polish Americans no
to
longer live in
jednak
Hamtramck,
jest to ich miasto,
they still look upon it as their
którym
city,
tak wielu z ich przodków
because so many of them
osiedliło
and their
się,
forefathers had located here,
przybywając do Nowego Świata.
coming to the New World.
Hamtramck znaczy wziąć Polska
Hamtramck
dla
means Poland
każdego
for everyone
mieszkającego w tych stronach,
in this area.
bo Afrykanów
Blacks
i przez inne etniczne grupy,
and other ethnic groups.
to jednak ciągle jest tu polska atmosfera,
The Polish atmosphere
I
still
kultura.
continually dominates.
mimo że wielu Polaków nie żyje obecnie w Hamtramck,
In spite of the fact that many Polish Americans no
to
longer live in
jednak
Hamtramck,
jest to ich miasto,
they still look upon it as their
którym
city,
tak wielu z ich przodków
because so many of them
osiedliło
and their
się,
forefathers had located here,
przybywając do Nowego Świata.
coming to the New World.
Hamtramck znaczy wziąć Polska
Hamtramck
dla
means Poland
każdego
for everyone
mieszkającego
who
w
lives
tych stronach,
in this area,
bo tu słyszy się ciągle język polski
because you always hear the
na
Polish language
ulicach
here in the
czy w
streets
sklepach.
or in the stores.
Od